The GERD crisis reloaded: power, politics, and Trump's new claims. In the highlands of Ethiopia, a $5 billion mega dam stands near completion, hailed as a beacon of national pride, yet condemned as a threat to downstream survival. For Ethiopia, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, embodies sovereignty and progress. For Egypt and Sudan, it signals looming water insecurity. Now, former US President Donald Trump's surprise claims of America financing stirred old tensions and opened a new diplomatic front. Is the GERD dispute inching towards resolution or reigniting? Hi, I'm Sina Exau, and this is Analytica Today. In July 2025, as Ethiopia announced the GERD's imminent completion, unexpected controversy surfaced. Donald Trump, at a NATO summit, asserted the US had financed the project. For Ethiopia, this was not just inaccurate, it was an affront to sovereignty. Egypt embraced Trump's involvement, viewing it as renewed leverage in its fight for Nile's water security. Sudan, distracted by civil conflict, remains largely sidelined. This analysis unpacks the latest twists, the national stakes, and the fragile diplomatic path forward. To Ethiopians, the GERD is more than hydropower, its national symbol. With construction 98.9% complete as of July 2025, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government views the $5 billion project as domestically funded and domestically controlled. Every brick, every tribune, officials insist, was financed through citizen bonds, diaspora contributions, and government investment. So when Trump in July 2025 claimed the US stupidly financed GERD, Ethiopia officials reacted swiftly and firmly. Deputy CEO Fikret Tetamru publicly rejected the assertion, calling for far-sighted and carefully considered diplomatic procedures to address what Ethiopia views as deliberate misinformation. Dr. Aragawi Berehe, coordinating public support for the dam, described Trump's claims as groundless. Even Ethiopia's embassy in Israel joined the rebuttal, posting proudly zero external loans or donors. For Addis Ababa, Trump's repeated statements, reviving memories of his 2020 suggestion that Egypt might blow up the dam, signal a dangerous return to biased mediation. Ethiopia, long advocating for an African solution under the AU's leadership, now sees Trump's renewed involvement as both intrusive and destabilizing. Yet Ethiopia remains diplomatically cautious. By inviting Egypt and Sudan to the GERD's September 2025 inauguration, Addis Ababa extends an olive branch, though Egypt has already declined. Dependent on the Nile for 90% of its water, Egypt fears disruptions during GERD's fillings could devastate agriculture and industry. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi welcomed Trump's engagement. Trump's July 15 NATO remarks, emphasizing the Nile's vital role for Egypt's 100 million citizens, were met with appreciation in Cairo. Egyptian officials see Trump as a potential ally to pressure Ethiopia, recalling his earlier preference for Egyptian interests during US-led talks. Egypt continues to demand a legally binding agreement to protect its share of Nile waters under the 1959 treaty, which Ethiopia rejects. Sudan's stance is more muted. While concerned about water flow and dam operations, Sudan's internal conflicts have sidelined it from negotiations. Khartoum has neither responded to Ethiopia's inauguration invitation nor issued strong statements regarding Trump's claims. For now, Sudan remains a hesitant and weakened participant. Trump's July 2025 intervention, claiming US financing of GERD and promising a swift resolution, rekindled skepticism in Ethiopia. His July 15 remarks, delivered during a NATO session, described the GERD as closing up water going to the Nile, framing Ethiopia as an aggressor and Egypt as the victim. His earlier claim that US has stupidly financed the dam marked the third assertion this month, much to Ethiopia's frustration. Addis Ababa sees this not as a constructive mediation, but as a misinformation that undermines its sovereignty narrative. Trump's alignment with Egypt complicates US credibility as a neutral broker. While Egypt views Trump's re-entry as a diplomatic lifeline, Ethiopia regards it as potential threat to its insistence in African-led solutions. Ethiopia's call for AU-centered negotiations signals a desire to avoid external power politics interfering in what is seen as an African matter. Yet with AU mediation stalled, Trump's unpredictable involvement could reshape talks for better or for worse. As Ethiopia prepares for the dam's inauguration in September 2025, diplomatic tensions continue to mount. Egypt's rejection of Ethiopia's invitation highlights entrenched mistrust. Sudan's mired in conflict remains largely absent. Meanwhile, the GERD itself nears full operational status. For Ethiopia, each milestone is a triumph of resilience. For Egypt, a deepening crisis. Trump's involvement risks polarizing the situation further. Ethiopia's refusal to acknowledge US financing and preference for AU mediation could isolate Washington's role. Conversely, Egypt's embrace of Trump's mediation underscores Cairo's desperation for external leverage. Without diplomatic breakthroughs, the stalemate risks hardening. The GERD dispute has entered a new phase. Ethiopia's national project now faces not only downstream opposition, but revived US involvement under Donald Trump's provocative claims. For Ethiopia, the dam is a symbol of self-reliance and sovereignty, financed by its people and defended by its government. For Egypt, it's a threat to water security, and Trump's intervention offers a hope for external pressure. For Sudan, it's a crisis muted by internal chaos, and for Trump, it's a political opportunity, one that could either mediate peace or reignite tensions. As the waters of the Nile flow on, so does the struggle to control them. I'm Sina Ikzau, and this is Analytica Today. What's your view? Should Africa solve its disputes alone, or do global powers still have a role?